Hello students. So in the present topic we have discussed many things, that what is the matter, how it is constituted, what are the constituent particles, what is their nature, what are the factors influencing the states of matter, etc., etc. Now this is always desirable to have some knowledge little bit beyond your NCERT texts, because obviously your objective is not just the CBSE boards, but you also have something to do for the NTSE, for some other competitive exams which you want to face. For that matter, today in this particular class I would like to give you a further insight into the relationship between the evaporation and the boiling. So just try to understand the two terms. The one we have discussed already, that is the evaporation, and another is that I want to discuss with evaporation is the phenomenon of boiling. So you know that evaporation takes place at every temperature. I cited one example in my previous lectures, that when you dry your clothes, that means the evaporation is taking place. When you see that one pond is dried off, that means again it stresses the fact that evaporation is a continuous phenomenon that is going on. Irrespective of the temperature, irrespective of the weather, the evaporation goes on. The only difference is that rate of evaporation changes. If you imagine the summers, obviously because the temperature is quite high, therefore rate of evaporation becomes greater. But at the same time, if you take the example of the winters, then definitely the rate of evaporation is quite less. But as far as the evaporation is concerned, it is going on. So just you have to understand what is the difference between the evaporation and the boiling in this present lecture. So what particular boiling is? So this is the state of the liquid when its vapor phase becomes in its equilibrium. So I think this statement is a little bit longer, so you may face a difficulty to understand. So just I am giving you one example, that what is the sense of this equilibrium. Let's say we have a particular vessel like this, in which we have taken one specified amount of liquid. One specified amount of liquid we have taken like this. Let's say here we are increasing the temperature of this system. Let here this vessel is enclosed like this. You know that the vapors will form and they will aggregate here. They will present over the surface of the water. When sufficient amount of these vapors collected, then obviously you may you can realize that these vapors will have opportunity to recombine. So when they recombine, their mass increases. When the mass increases, their m into g, that is the force of gravitation, also increases. Because of that, they have tendency to convert into liquid again. This conversion of vapors into liquids, this is always called as process of condensation. So this is the process of evaporation and this is the process of condensation. Now when both these processes take place at the same rate, we call that system is in equilibrium. Then we call that system is in equilibrium. So this is the primary step to understand that what equilibrium is, because the boiling needs the understanding of equilibrium. Because every time when the boiling happens, that means the liquid state and the vapor state are in equilibrium. Otherwise the boiling will never take place. And at this particular system, this is also needed that pressure, that vapor pressure should be same as the external pressure. So what vapor pressure is? So this is again one new term for you, because you know that what pressure is, but you do not know that what vapor pressure is. So let us try to understand. Let us discuss this vapor pressure with respect to the term of boiling, that what vapor pressure is. So when this equilibrium exists in any liquid, which one equilibrium? The equilibrium that liquid and its vapors. When this equilibrium exists, at this equilibrium, whatsoever the pressure exerted by these vapors, obviously you have to understand these vapors will exert a certain level of pressure on the walls of this container. So this pressure which is exerted by the vapors is called as vapor pressure. So if you recollect the terms, then how you can define in brief that what boiling is, what vapor pressure is. So when the liquid state and the vapor state are in equilibrium, the pressure exerted by vapors is called as vapor pressure, okay? And when vapor pressure becomes equal to the external pressure, then boiling happens. When vapor pressure becomes equal to the external pressure, so this situation leads to the boiling phenomenon. So this way you have to understand the difference between the boiling and the evaporation. I would like to elaborate more that what is the exact difference and what words we have to use to get the definition of the two things together. The evaporation is the process of conversion of liquid state into the vapor state for all the volatile substances. Volatile means which evaporate, non-volatile means which do not evaporate. So any of the liquid which has tendency of vaporization, so that will evaporate irrespective of the temperature, the only rate will be different. But you cannot say that every volatile thing will boil, because boiling has a certain different meaning. So what that different meaning is, that when vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to its external pressure, then boiling happens. And at boiling, always and always this equilibrium has to be maintained, liquid and the vapors. So this is the difference. Now let's say you want to understand that evaporation of water and boiling of water, because water is a very frequent and very easy to understand, because we all know that what water is. So you know that water evaporates at any time, but when it boils, when the temperature becomes 100 degrees Celsius. So at the temperature at which it boils, that we call boiling point. So boiling is associated with boiling point. Boiling point further, how to define? In terms of external pressure, in terms of vapor pressure, when vapor pressure becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure, that temperature is called as boiling point. So boiling point also you have to understand the temperature at which vapor pressure becomes equal to 1 atm is boiling point. So boiling happens at the boiling point when the temperature is 1 atm, while evaporation happens at any temperature. So this is the difference between the evaporation and the boiling. Now as far as the boiling is concerned, you also have to understand that here I have used the term external pressure and here I have used specifically 1 atm. So you have to understand this difference. This is not eventually, this is knowingly. Knowingly I have used here the external pressure term and here I have used 1 atmospheric pressure, because for the boiling point the external pressure is always maintained at the level of 1 atm. Now if let's say the pressure is other than 1 atmospheric pressure, then we do not have to call it boiling point, but we have to call it boiling temperature. So there are very small differences between the terms and the terminology, and you have to be cautious about the use. So boiling temperature is something different from the boiling point. Or you can say when the external pressure is 1 atm, then boiling temperature is called as boiling point. Yes, this is a correct definition again, that when the external pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure, then boiling temperature becomes boiling point. Otherwise if the pressure is not 1 atm, then boiling will happen at something different temperature. For example, if you take the example of water, you know that boiling point of water is what? You all know that boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, or you can say 373 Kelvin. But this is when the pressure is 1 atm. If the pressure is changed, then definitely boiling temperature of water will not be 100 degrees Celsius. So now if external pressure is not equal to 1 atm, then what will happen? In this case, the boiling will not take place at 100 degrees Celsius. In this case, boiling temperature of water definitely will not be equal to 100 degrees Celsius, but it will be something different, and that will depend that whether the external pressure is greater than 1 atmosphere or the lesser than 1 atmosphere. Now if the external pressure is greater than 1 atm, then what will happen? So just take the two cases here. One, when P external pressure is less than 1 atmosphere. Another case, when P external is greater than 1 atmosphere. So when P external is less than 1 atmosphere, then definitely the boiling temperature becomes less than 100 degrees Celsius. So here at this point, the boiling temperature becomes less than 100 degrees Celsius, while here the boiling temperature becomes greater than 100 degrees Celsius. So here students, it is very interesting to understand that that boiling can happen at any temperature. It is not necessary that boiling needs 100 degrees Celsius temperature for water, because this is under 1 atm conditions only. If you change your external pressure, then boiling temperature will also change. So what we are learning here, what we are getting the conclusion, that the boiling can happen even at the less than 100 degrees Celsius if the external pressure is maintained below 1 atm. Let's say we have in a particular system, we have maintained half atmospheric pressure. You can think that how to maintain half atmospheric pressure. You just imagine that there is a container and which is connected with some vacuum pump. With the help of vacuum pump, what we do? We decrease the air pressure inside the container and we maintain the pressure as per our requirement. We decrease the air, the amount of air is decreased, the pressure will be decreased. So this we get with the help of vacuum pump, and now the boiling temperature will come down and it will be somewhere less than 100 degrees Celsius, that can be 40 degrees Celsius, even that can be 60 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Celsius as per the requirement. So this is a very important phenomenon, and here again in this case what you are looking, that boiling temperature is beyond 100 degrees Celsius. When we get it? When the external pressure is maintained greater than 1 atm. So this we see daily, this thing we use daily in the kitchens, in our kitchens we have the pressure cooker. Every household has the pressure cooker. In the pressure cooker what happens? The boiling temperature of water is beyond 100 degrees Celsius, because inside the pressure cooker the external pressure is maintained more than 1 atmosphere. How it is maintained more than 1 atmosphere? You can think. You know that there is a vent tube and there is a weight on the vent tube, जिसको हम बोलते हैं CT. In the pressure cooker, that vent tube and there is a weight. You all know that whistle comes. When it comes, and what is the exact role of this weight which is kept on the head of the vent tube? It creates the pressure inside the pressure cooker greater than 1 atmospheric pressure, so that the boiling temperature of water increases and therefore cooking becomes faster. So these are the scientific facts that we use in our daily life for our comfortable life and to get the better utilization of our time, because you know that in the pressure cooker cooking always becomes faster. So this is the thing that you have to understand. Similarly, on the basis of this thing, we also have a device. Like here we have the device. Which one? Here we have the device that we call pressure cooker, and that we all know very well. But here, when we decrease the temperature, when we decrease the external pressure, so we decrease the boiling temperature. So here again we have a process, a device that we call the freeze dryer. So where it is used? Where this freeze dryer is used? This freeze dryer is used where we have to dry those substances which are sensitive to the exposure of high temperature. For example, biological substances. You must have listened that some blood sample is stored, some biological means strains are stored. So how they are stored? Before the storage, they need to be dried. Now since they are biological, so they cannot be exposed to the higher temperature. For these certain circumstances, we need a device where the drying is carried on without increase of temperature, and for that purpose we use the freeze dryers. So you have learned that there is one device, the pressure cooker, where the boiling temperature is greater than 100 degrees Celsius. There is another device, the freeze dryer, where boiling temperature is less than 100 degrees Celsius. So all is possible when we change the external pressure. So you have learned the difference between the evaporation, the boiling, and the boiling point. So this is the objective of this lecture. So I think all of you have got it properly. Okay. So thanks.